Hey everybody, I just wanted to jump on real quick because we have some breaking news regarding the killing of CEO Brian Thompson of United Healthcare. They have arrested a person in connection with that shooting, and I wanted to bring you some facts about the suspected perpetrator that I have learned since this development. So, the police have arrested Luigi Mangione, sounds very Italian. He was arrested at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And according to the latest reports, he was not on the police's radar at all. So, a McDonald's employee actually recognized him, which I thought that was just craziness. Like, I understand that they've had some pictures circulating of him, but even the one picture that they had of his face, it's not like directly pointed at his face. He's kind of looking down. So, I mean, kudos to that person. Like, way to go. Especially when it's not like this person was in New York or somewhere super close to where the shooting happened. However, Altoona, Pennsylvania is like 230 miles away from New York City, so it's not, super far, but not next door either. So this seems to be pretty well planned. The suspect is only 26 years old. I know the police had traced his bus back to Atlanta, so, he did a good job not being detected by having the bus go back to Atlanta, and then he ends up being found in Pennsylvania, which is not, has no connection to Atlanta. So that was interesting. So a couple fast facts I found out about this suspect. His last known address was in Honolulu, Hawaii. However, it doesn't sound like he's living there at this time. So I don't know if he lives with somebody else, and so the address is not showing up in his name, but he did live in Hawaii for a time. He went to a very elite prep school in Baltimore, Maryland, and it's like a very, very elite, like I guess Cal Ripken Jr.'s children went to this prep school, so probably comes from money. The Mangione family has some, I don't know exactly like what they're known for, but they're a prominent family. The grandfather of Luigi, the suspect, he has 37 grandchildren, and they have some kind of organization that they are their family founded. So that's interesting. And when they arrested him, they also found a whole bunch of fake IDs, which isn't surprising because he obviously would have checked. They know he stayed at a youth hostel in New York City, so he would have used a fake ID. If they in fact check ID at hostels, maybe they don't. I think he was able to pay cash as well. And the one thing that I just find really fascinating is the fact that his undoing was likely the fact that he pulled his mask down to flirt with the desk clerk at the hostel. So that is just goes to show you that no matter how much planning you do, 26-year-old with no criminal history that we're aware of anyway, you're bound to make a mistake. I think that was his big mistake because it sounds like they had not identified. Sorry, I'm logged into one of my apps and I forgot to turn it off, so it's making noise. So anyhow, it sounds like if he had not pulled his mask down to flirt with the desk clerk at the hostel, he probably would still be on the run. I mean, I think he was bound to be caught eventually, but it sounds like they really still had no idea where he was. I don't know if he has any connections to Pennsylvania necessarily. Maybe he was just on the run and that's where he happened to be. He was also connected to an address in San Francisco as well. So it sounds like he kind of has traveled about the country and lived in a few addresses throughout the United States. So I know there are some people that have made comments a lot on the internet about our healthcare system in the United States and how and how much there's a lot of problems in our healthcare system, and there's a lot of corporate greed, and I agree with all of that. But I do think the hatred towards, Brian Thompson or any other CEO, it's a bit misguided, just in the sense that, like, it's more than just a CEO that is the problem when it comes to these companies, right? These insurance companies. It's has to do with who we're electing. It has to do with what people, a lot of people like their private health insurance if they have good insurance, and wealthier people tend to have better insurance, and so then you have wealthy people who don't want the system to change, right? Like, if their medication's not covered by their insurance, they'll just pay out of pocket. They don't care. And I've had my own experiences. Like, a few months ago, I went to Walgreens to pick up my prescription, and it's a medication I've been on for years that I absolutely have to have, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, the insurance company says I need a prior authorization for it, which is just ridiculous, because that's basically what that means, is that the insurance company has to they have a doctor usually that works with them, and that doctor has to basically approve that you really need that medication. And on top of that, the medication, that could take upwards of a week for that process to take place. So I had no medication left, and basically I call Walgreens, and the person tells me about the prior authorization, and I told her, I'm like, I don't have any medication left, and she laughs. She literally laughs at me, and she's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. And so I basically, like, broke down, and I said, please, can I pay out of pocket and use a coupon, like, through GoodRx? GoodRx can actually sometimes be cheaper than insurance. And she said, no, you have partially your insurance is through the state, and we can't allow you to use a coupon. And it's like, I said, I begged her. I said, cancel my insurance. I don't care, whatever you have to do. Like, take it off my profile. I'm like, I will just use GoodRx from now on, because I was so desperate to get the medication I needed. And finally she let me do it, but it was like, had she not, I mean, I might have ended up in the hospital, right? Because this is something I had to have. So I 100%, and I have probably 100 other similar stories to that I could tell you just with my experience with the healthcare system. I'm the mom of 2 premature babies, and the cost to have a baby in the NICU is upwards of $1 million. Now, obviously, I didn't pay $1 million, but it, there were some big medical expenses associated with that, and some people get lucky and some people don't, and we shouldn't be living in a society where having money and having good insurance is the difference between life and death. And so I get it. It's like, it's a very serious issue, and you are talking about life and death. And so when people get upset about this and they direct that anger towards a specific person, like a CEO, it's misguided. Like, I understand, vigilante justice to a certain degree. Like, I think about, I have 4 kids. If one of my kids was, like, sexually assaulted, God forbid, by somebody, my husband would want to take that person out. I guarantee you he would. And he would, literally, he would go to jail. Like, he just would. And so I get that when it comes to somebody who directly hurt you, but this problem is far bigger than just one individual CEO. It might have gotten more people talking about the issue, and I understand that, but in terms of actually solving what's going on, this killing of the CEO did not do anything for that cause. So, I've seen a lot of people making jokes like before they caught him, and they were like, well, I would be able to find the suspect, but I can't see right now because my plan doesn't include vision. I've heard people make jokes like that. But at the end of the day, like, Brian Thompson was a father of 2, and I actually live in Minnesota where he lives, and he lives in a very nice area, and the man is filthy rich. That's true. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think what happened here is gonna make a difference in terms of, fundamentally changing our healthcare system. And it's just, I think other countries too look at the United States and look at our healthcare system and think that we are bonkers. And I can get that. Well, if you have good insurance and you have a good job and this has never been an issue for you, it's funny, like, I had a job with really good insurance for many, many years, and I think I took it for granted, right? Like, it was $500 a month for family coverage, and I thought that was so expensive. And, we'd still have co-pays and things for medication and doctor's visits. And then I ended up quitting my nursing job and being a stay-at-home mom and doing the gig work thing after we had our 4th child. And my husband he used to work in the healthcare field, and then he got a different job. And so we got insurance through this new company that he was working for, and family coverage is $1,500 a month, and it hardly covers anything. And we can't afford that. Like, we can't afford to pay $1,500 a month for family coverage. And so we had to explore, the Affordable Care Act has, a website where you can go and you can look for insurance that's suitable for your income and all of that. But it's still, there's still a lot of problems with it. And we still pay a lot of money in co-pays and things like that, and it causes issues, right? Like, I'm coming up short a lot of months on our mortgage, and it's like, do I pay the $200-300 a month that we spend on medication every month between me and my husband and my kids, or do I take that money and make my mortgage payment? That, if I'm short, sometimes I'm short $200 or $300 on my mortgage payment. Like, those are the kind of decisions that you're forced to make. But there's people out there who don't have to make those types of decisions. And so they don't care, and they want things to stay the same. And that's the problem. A lot of those people I'm sure most people that are in Congress and the Senate and that work for the government, they probably have really good health care. So why on earth would they want our system to change? Like, they might say they're working for the people, but they don't want it to change because it's good for them. And that's the problem in general, is there's a certain subset of the population that does have good insurance that they don't care if you're struggling to get your meds or you're going bankrupt and you have to choose between your medication and your mortgage payment. They don't care. And so, if you're really interested in trying to change something, obviously going out, now this guy is probably going to serve a life sentence, right? He's 26 years old. His life is ruined, and you're bound to get caught in this day and age. As someone who covers true crime and knows a lot about, how they catch people, you can think you've thought of everything, right? This guy had a fake ID. This guy had a suppressor on his firearm, which, by the way, he was initially arrested on these firearm charges for having a weapon with a suppressor, which is highly illegal. Those are federal gun charges that he's going to be facing in order to detain him. But, this guy, I think he probably thought of everything, and he had the fake IDs, the burner phone, he had his face covered, but then he had the one slip up. He boarded a bus in Atlanta, which had no connection to where he was from, as far as I know anyway, at this point in time. So, it doesn't matter. Or even look at the Brian Kohlberger case in Idaho. He probably thought he did everything, and then he accidentally left his DNA on a knife sheath. And then the knife sheath probably couldn't find it because it was underneath one of the victims. So I think encouraging stuff like this or being happy about something like this happening is extremely misguided, and there are, of course, other ways to go about it. But anyhow, I just wanted to come on and give you guys some of the information I found out about the person that was arrested. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. We'll hopefully have a new episode out in the next couple days. Ta-ta.